Hello, Lobo fans. Welcome into another edition of your Lobo Coaches Show. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy. It's our first women's basketball edition for 2023-24. We have Lobo women's basketball coach Mike Bradbury. Coach Bradbury, congrats on a great start. First, it's great to be with you. How are you, sir?
Doing great. Thanks, Robert.
A terrific start. I think you won your first four. Now you're sitting at 7-2. What have you thought so far?
Well, I like the growth of our team. You know, it's a young team. We have no seniors. We only have one player back that played, that started, and a couple players that played significant minutes. So it's a brand new team, and I'm glad. I'm happy where our growth is. I don't think we're anywhere near where we're going to get, but so far so good.
Well, you're just 1 month in, and I guess growth is the thing when you have a young team. What have you seen so far in that growth?
Well, I think from an offensive standpoint, we've continued to improve. And we put in an entirely new offense. It took through the summer. It was difficult. It's still difficult at times for us to get to the right spots, but gradually we've gotten better, and I think over the last 2 or 3 games has been our best basketball, especially on the offensive end.
So the team is improving offensively. You've told me already early in the year that you feel like this is a team that can kind of hang its hat on defense and rebounding, and it's doing that pretty well, isn't it?
Yeah, especially the last couple games. Defensively, we've been really good, and we've been pretty good rebounding. We were really good against Mississippi Valley, rebounding the ball. Hit a rough spot down in the tournament down in Mexico. We didn't defend very well, but other than those 2 games, it's been pretty good.
Competition down in Mexico was pretty good?
Absolutely. 2 of the better teams we've played, and they could shoot it, had some size, so made it a little difficult, and we didn't respond very well.
The Lobos played in a tournament in Cancun. What were your biggest takeaways from those 2 games?
Well, the game against Montana State is we really had a hard time defending them, and you know our energy level was a little bit low. The second day against Georgia Tech, we were much better. We defended better. We played much harder. Just came up a little bit short.
So the Lobos are right in the middle of a 6-game homestand right now. You're 3-0 to start that homestand. We're going to take a look at the tape of all 3 of those wins. But what has been good so far since you've gotten back in the pit?
Well, I think just getting back and getting somewhere where it's comfortable, you know, for us, and that's helped a little bit. We've gotten some practice time, you know, and able to continue to move forward in the things that we're doing. You know, and it's obvious, but playing in front of our crowd obviously is a big bonus for us.
Coach talked about moving forward. I would think this is a fantastic opportunity for your team in the season to actually get a chance to really work on itself. You're at home, you've got all the creature comforts, you can get in the gym, extra work the women can come in if they want it, and I'm sure that you're really focused on getting better as a team.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we saw this 6-game stretch at home, and getting to be here and stay rested and things like that without the travel was going to benefit us. And just like you mentioned, we could get the extra work in, and our kids have been doing that, and you know, hopefully that pays dividends down the road. And you know, everybody on the team has gotten in a game in the last week. We're having to go way deeper in our bench. You know, we've had some injuries and things like that. So I think that's helped everybody.
Well, a big part of this first half of the 6-game homestand is the rivalry matchup. You had New Mexico State in the pit, and you guys took care of business. It's
probably our best all-around game of the year. I thought defensively, you know, we were really good. We competed. We matched their energy level, and offensively, I thought our execution was as good as it had been all year.
The Lobos have been involved in some close games here in the early part of the year, and man, oh man, that Eastern Illinois contest came right down to the wire. In fact, you had to do it in overtime.
Yeah, absolutely. Game went back and forth the whole way. Exciting game, high-scoring game, and you know, we were fortunate to get out on the right side of it.
That's the first tape we're going to break down. That's next. The Lobos win over Eastern Illinois in OT in the pit. Hello again, Lobo fans. Welcome back into your Lobo Coaches Show. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy, with the women's basketball coach at New Mexico, Mike Bradbury. The Lobos and Eastern Illinois played an OT thriller in the pit. Let's break down the tape with the coach. What'd you see here at the start, Coach?
Well, it started out pretty high energy, and both teams got going pretty quick offensively. For us against them, we struggled to guard their big guys because they took us out on the perimeter.
You were able to get to the bucket. Nia Wilson, she's been really good on the dribble drive.
She has. She's attacked the basket, been efficient when she's scoring.
Ogman there with a run out after her own steal, and she can get to the rack too, Coach.
Yeah, really kept us in the game early in the first half. It had a chance to get away from us, and then we started to close a little bit toward the end of the first quarter and with a V3.
Well, Berthe set up Cumber for a long ball, and now she shows what else she can do with a little step through right there.
Yeah, kind of got it in the post, got herself in a good spot. Very similar there to what Nia Wilson did. We thought we could get them in the post a little bit with our guards.
You told us that, Coach, that you were going to exploit mismatches all over the court from every position wherever you could.
Yeah, it's got to be a strength of our team. We don't shoot it great. We're not a great three-point shooting team, so we have to play to our strengths.
One of the strengths this season so far has been transition. Whether it's the primary break, the secondary break, you find a trailer like this, you're making buckets on the break.
Yeah, absolutely. We're better when we're in transition. As you can see here, we start the second half and we turned our defense into offense, and we turned them over a few times, hit a couple threes, and then really started getting the ball into the paint.
I love when you guys play through contact like that. There was a great opportunity for an and one. What about their three-point shooting, what Eastern Illinois did?
Well, they answered a big 12-0 run from us and went back up by double figures, and we were able to cut it down to 5 by the beginning of the fourth quarter. And we wanted to be aggressive and come out aggressive, and Paula hit a big 3 to start the quarter.
Well, you guys had that 12-0 run in the third. Here again, defense to offense. You would have another 12-0 spurt. What a beautiful give and go in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, defense to offense. We turned up the pressure a little bit, and were able to get some turnovers and turn them into points.
I think that the closer games that you guys played earlier in the season, Coach, set you up to be in the heat of this one in the pit.
Yeah, we didn't panic, and we were down for the majority of this game, and never panicked.
Did you guys have to crank up the defense as well here in the second half?
Yeah, we really did. We pressed them the whole time and trapped them in the half court, and it was, we needed some kind of energy.
Gosh, both teams making great plays here down the stretch. This was a high-level basketball game, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Had a chance here to put them away in regulation, up 4, and just get obviously a horrible call there on the block shot. And now they make an incredible shot here, kind of a half hook here to tie it up. And then we miss a shot trying to get the last one, and then good defensive play here to get us to overtime.
Great defense to get to OT, and then again, early in OT, they would get an advantage of a couple possessions.
Yeah, absolutely. Big shot right here for them, and that put us in a hole, down 4 with about 2.5 to go.
How'd you guys execute here down the stretch?
Well, ran a good play here for Anaya Ogman to get a drive at the basket to cut it to 2. That was big. And then just a defensive miscue right there, giving up the 3. And then didn't want to burn a timeout there because we were going to need them later. And we got Anaya Wilson driving at the basket, and that was huge for us. And that got us a 3-point play. Then we get a stick back here from Charlie, another 3-point play to cut it to 1.
Huge plays back to back, and I think an underrated piece of it, Cole had a seal on that play that you ran. Beautiful seal to create an easy path down the left rail.
Yeah, absolutely. Big defensive play there. They had been killing us in the post, and we went for the double team, caused the turnover. Then they had the foul. And then here, Charlie makes a big effort there to get out and contest the 3. And that was big for us to get out of there with a win because we trailed for the majority of that game.
I think you point out something crucial there. You get your big sprinting to the line like that on a play like that with everything on the line to make that a difficult shot, probably changed the arc on the shot. That's huge.
It was, and we'd worked on it in practice, and Charlie did a good job of executing her part of the plan there. So obviously we needed that, but I think in overtime our ability to get our minds right after we had kind of squandered it in regulation, and sometimes that can go bad on you. So I think in overtime, getting our minds right to where we could finish the game.
So the Lobos rally and win it in OT. What about the changes that were made? Because they looked pretty good early on, and you guys had to come back not once, but twice. And there had to be some adjustments in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Defensively, we changed everything at halftime. Nothing was working, and again, a lot of it was their execution, and then as well as our energy level wasn't where it needed to be. And we got all that changed at halftime, and that gave us a chance to win against a good team.
All right, we come back on the other side. It's rivalry time, the Lobos and New Mexico State in the pit. Welcome back into your Lobo Coaches Show with the women's basketball coach at New Mexico, Mike Bradbury. We're going to break down the tape of the Lobos' Rio Grande rivalry matchup with New Mexico State in the pit. And emotions are always high when these two teams get together, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the first quarter, it was high energy game. Both teams came out, a little off on offense, but really defending and really rebounding. Low scoring first quarter there, 7-6, and then from that point on, it started to open up a little bit. I thought we got a little better on offense, made good cuts. We were able to hit the open man, hit a three to start the quarter, and then we get V in the paint there.
Love to see Langermann knock down a three, Coach. You were talking about getting more bench production.
Yeah, and we needed it in this game, and we actually got pretty good bench production, a lot of minutes out of our bench in this game, which was good in such a high-level game.
High-level game, high-intensity game, and you guys did a lot of this. You got into the paint. You controlled the paint scoring in this contest, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely. We did a good job of driving it in the paint, and then Charlie did a good job scoring when she got it down there. And that last bucket by Charlie just ended a 9-0 run to start that quarter. So it was good for us to be able to get some easy baskets around in the paint.
Yeah, this second quarter is where you guys took control of the game, and we talked about the paint touches, and you've touched on both aspects of that. It's driving it into the key and then also getting the post touches, and of course you get a paint touch when you get out in transition too.
Yeah, absolutely. When we can score off our turnovers and score off our defense, it makes us a lot better.
Paula, to me, the all-court game, she shows a baseline drive, she sets up a teammate for a corner three. There are stretches of games now where you can see she really kind of takes things over.
Yeah, absolutely. She has the ability to score at every level, and she can really pass the ball.
And there we see another beautiful pass and a great cut to the basket for an easy layup.
Yeah, they turned up the heat on us there in the second half, and we had to start getting some back cuts and relieve pressure. So we were able to do that through the high post a little bit, and then get some back cuts off of it.
Love to see the stickbacks too. When Charlie's doing work on the offensive glass, you guys dominated the glass in this game, 47-33. That's a huge help.
Yeah, it was big. Not very often that we've out-rebounded them, and to have a significant margin was a big deal for sure.
It helps to that paint points advantage of 42-16. Third time this year, by the way, that you have 4 players in double figures.
Yeah, we're pretty balanced. We haven't had a dominant scorer. We've had different leading scorers in a lot of games. We're getting a lot of people in double figures to give us some balance, and I think it makes us harder to defend.
Here we go, defense to offense, another big game in the steals department for Augmund. I think 5 of them, and you get transition points.
Yeah, anytime she gets her hands on it, we've got a chance to score.
Now, I absolutely love that play. First of all, your celebrations here at center court are fantastic, Coach. I enjoy those every single time. But you can see Paula's next level. Like, she's faking a behind-the-back pass there, and she gets an easier path to the basket as a result of that. That's crazy stuff.
She was playing really good and with a lot of confidence in that game. Sometimes she can get a little carried away, but she obviously had a lot of confidence there to make that move.
There is some flair to her game, Coach.
Yes, a lot of flair. Yes, and a lot of times it's effective.
A lot of times it's effective. An occasional extra gray hair too.
Yes, can be. There will be a turnover that maybe we shouldn't have made.
Okay. All right, the Lobos are 2-0 to start their 6-game homestand. Game 3 against MVSU is next. We're back to wrap up this edition of your Lobo Coaches Show. I'm Robert Portnoy with the women's basketball coach at New Mexico, Mike Bradbury. The Lobos are right in the midst of a 6-game homestand at the Pit. Game 3, Mississippi Valley State on Bob King Court. And Coach, how about the way this one got off to a start?
Yeah, it was good. We were able to attack the basket, and we this was our first game kind of starting without V in the game and kind of having to find our way. But we got off to a good start offensively in this one.
Another lane line drive. You guys have been really good the first half of this homestand at getting to the basket, Coach.
We have, and we've been aggressive. And there's, Paula again driving past her defender and saw the help and got it off to Charlie.
Love the big-to-big touches, right? I mean, if you draw the extra defender there, there's got to be somebody open on the opposite side of the key.
Yeah, absolutely. And Paula's the best we got at finding those people. And great ball movement there in transition to get a step-in 3 for Paula.
I'm seeing a lot of that hockey assist, Coach, where that first pass sets up a good shot, but then you get a great one with the extra pass.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we've been talking about, and that usually happens in transition. Here, our rebounding really carried us in this game. We had a huge advantage rebounding, and that offensive rebound gets us another 3 points.
That happens quite often, doesn't it? After an offensive rebound, you get an open 3. It seems the defense seems to collapse chasing a board, and somebody's going to be open.
Yes, absolutely.
And there's Charlie inside again. This is the second of consecutive double-doubles for her, Coach. Her second 20-rebound game of the season. Crazy, you guys hadn't had a rebounder have 20 in a game twice in a year since the 70s.
Yeah, Charlie's been doing the thing down on the boards, and obviously that hasn't been a strong point of ours, but in the past. But this year it's been good to us.
Another high-low feed. You flash a big to the high post, you get a big-to-big bucket, and then that just sets this up because the more paint touches you get, the more open threes you're going to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Big shot here to end the half.
Boy, that's
always momentum there when you can, hit one at the buzzer. Big shot from Nia Wilson there.
That requires some confidence and, of course, execution, and she didn't hesitate at all.
No, she didn't. Time running down, and it was, kind of her shot to have there.
There was Charlie on the block. You set her up with a touch down low, and then she goes and gets her own there off a miss.
Yeah, and we tried to establish her here to start the second half of getting the ball inside and making sure that we got her some touches because we did think we had an advantage there.
This is something that's clearly a part of what you're doing in the fast break, Coach, is you get that trailer wide open. Again, the extra pass sets up the 3, and now in this particular instance, you take it right to the rim.
Yes, and you can see we're able to score both ways. We're scoring at the rim in transition, and we're scoring on the trail 3. So that's big because now they don't know what to take away.
One thing I'm noticing too in these highlights, Coach, is a lot more threes are going in maybe than were early in the year. It seems like better shot selection, better execution, more in transition. What's the reason?
Well, I think a couple things. One, we're working on it, but we're getting better shots, and we know when to take them. And we haven't taken as many bad threes in the last few games.
So percentages improving because the shots you're taking consistently better across the board.
Correct. And we're getting a lot of threes from inside out instead of just, shooting random threes.
Those deep touches on the baseline like that, it requires extra attention from the defense and opens things up, and then you can put it on the deck and do that and create for a teammate.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought, especially the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, we did a really good job of running offense, and we had some different combinations out there that hadn't played a lot together, and they did a great job of staying in offense, running offense at the right pace, and we got really good shots. I mean, the very last drive was Tolly driving it, dumping it off to Paris. That's that was big. That was the right play at the right time.
How'd you feel about the way your team reacted to playing with a different starting lineup?
Oh, it was fine, and they were good when V couldn't start the second half, in the last game. And, I thought they did a good job of that.
One of the cool things about the win over Mississippi Valley State is how many people got a chance to participate. New Mexico has 3 more at home and 2 this week, games on Thursday and Sunday.
Yeah, we're looking forward to the games coming up, but the 6-game homestand was good because we had just got back from Mexico. We had already been to Pepperdine, and now we get to settle in at home for a while and hopefully improve, and not only ourselves, but to be able to prepare for opponents and see what that looks like before we go into conference play.
So we're airing on a Wednesday night. The next night is Thursday night in Southern Utah. Give us a little preview.
They're really good offensively. They're big. They can make threes. Their post play is tremendous. It's their 2 best players, and then they're led by their point guard. And last year when we played up there, she absolutely killed us.
Okay, Coach. Best of luck. A couple of games at home this week in the Pit. Go get them.
Thanks, Robert. I appreciate it.
For Mike Bradbury and Chase Christensen, as well Allison Weiss, I'm Robert Portnoy. It's Thursday night in the Pit, 7 p.m. Again Sunday at 2 o'clock in the Pit. Check out your Lobos. So long, everybody, and go Lobos.